Good afternoon, Floss Tube. This is Julie with Reflections Framing and Stitching. Today is Sunday. It is the 3rd of January, and this is Floss Tube number 48. We're going to title this one Just the Julie Show because Dan will not be joining us today. Some of you may know his father had COVID and was hospitalized the day before Christmas. I'm sorry to have to tell you he passed away New Year's Day. Dan was able to see him before he passed. The hospital was kind enough to let the family, Joe, his wife, and Deb, Dan's sister, they all got to go in and say their goodbyes. So he did get to see him before he passed. But he is quarantining in the basement because he was in the COVID unit for off and on for most of the day. So, and of course up close and personal with his dad. So while he was masked and gowned and gloved, we'd rather err on the side of caution and not be responsible for anyone else getting this. So he's quarantining in the basement, which is hard. It's very, very hard to do when you're living in the same house and, I need him for something, he needs me for something. You kind of forget what's going on. So I do want to say thank you for all your prayers. We appreciate them. And this is a terrible, terrible disease, and all I can say about it is wear your mask. Practice safe social distancing. Gathering in large groups is not a good idea, so don't do it. And I really don't want anyone else to have to go through this, so be smart, please. Anyway, that is the biggest news. I thought I would make a little short video, let everyone know about Dan's father, and to thank you for your prayers. Had a couple of questions from my last video, so I'll answer those and show you what I've been working on, and then let you go for the day. I did do a little crafting this morning, so I'm going to show you what I worked on. And yeah, so anyway, I hope you're all doing well. I hope you had a good New Year and celebrated safely. The shop was open the day after, so I was open yesterday and had a busy day. Inventory is done. Stuck a fork in that one. And let's hope that the new year brings better things for everyone. So, what have I been working on? My band sampler, which again I'm not going to show you, but I'm making progress. There was a lot of stitching in that second decorative band, so I'm hoping to finish that up today and tomorrow. Probably will take me until tomorrow because there's still quite a bit of stitching in it. But I'm hoping to finish that up and then go on to the next part of the verse, which shouldn't take but a couple of days, and then start the third decorative band. And I think I counted them. I think there's 6 decorative bands. I think 5 or 6. So then I'll move on to that. I'm also working on my 25/7 challenge piece, which is the Winds of Autumn, and we're on day 3. I haven't done mine for today, but I did do it the first and the second, so I'm doing good. And I did more than the 25 stitches. Well, the first day I made them do 46 stitches, so the 25 plus 21 extra because it was 2021. and everyone seems to be having a good time with that, which is I'm a little shocked. I think we have 68 people in the group, which I kind of, when I came up with the idea, I kind of thought it would be me and Mary Lang and Donna Stitt, and it would just be the three of us. So I am pleasantly surprised, and everyone seems to be enjoying themselves. So thanks for joining us in that stitching challenge. It's been so far been a lot of fun, and some people have even finished their first project, so that's good. So I've been working on that, and then I've been working on one of my Out of the Stash at Last pieces. So I will start with that one because I also had a question. In my last video, someone had asked me what the magazine was that it was in. So let me refresh your memory. That is what it looks like. This is the DMC 250th anniversary sampler, which was back in 1996. And if I did my math correctly, we're like 25 years beyond that. So it's going to be like the 75th anniversary sampler. The colors are beautiful. I'm enjoying the stitching. It is a lot of color changing, but it's going well. And you can find this sampler in the October 1996 issue of Cross Stitch and Needlework, which looks like that. There's a lot of colors in that piece. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure I showed the colors, but for those of you who maybe are new, I don't know that I have anyone new, but just in case, there's a lot of colors in this piece. They're pretty colors, but there's a lot of them, so there's a lot of color changes. This is how far I have gotten, which isn't my focus is on my band sampler, because I really want to get that done. Now that I've decided what color to use, I'm kind of anxious to get it done. So that's my main focus. But like this afternoon, I'll probably stitch on this, and then tonight I'll stitch on the band sampler. So this is where I'm at now. And what I've done is I've extended this viney part, and I'm starting to work on the flowers. I've finished this skein of floss up here. I think that's it. So not a ton of progress, but considering it's the one of 3 projects, I think it's pretty good, and I'm happy with it. So, but this is going to be really pretty. Very, very pretty. I haven't decided yet, if I want to put the 1746 and 1996, or do I want to do 1746 and, let's assume we get it done this year. 2021, or if I want to use different dates. I haven't decided. I don't think I'm going to put the words down here. I think I have decided not to do that. I could change my mind, though. What do you think? Do you think I should use the words or not use the words? You let me know. And I have I had a question for you guys. Maybe I'm just dumb, but there's another project in here which I kind of like. I don't like the red fabric. I think the red fabric is yuck. It's called Antique Needlework Tools, and was part of a series. Looks like this. And most of the things on there, I'm not sure what this is or what its purpose would be. But why is there a fish in the needlework tools? Can anyone tell me what the fish is? What its significance is? Because I don't know. And I would really like to know. So if someone could answer that question for me, I would appreciate it. Okay, that was my DMC sampler. And then Winds of Autumn is my challenge piece. I had part of the bird done. The first day I added legs, and yesterday I worked on the tail. Let me see, am I gonna need something behind it? Maybe not. Okay, so the legs came the first day of the challenge, and then I've added like 5 rows, so coming across from here, that's what I added yesterday. So I'll probably do over 25 stitches just because it's only, what time is it? 1 o'clock, somewhere in there. So I can work on that tail a little longer than 25 stitches and still have plenty of time to work on the band sampler. So that's coming along nicely. I was going to show you, Dan has done a little bit on his. I might possibly be going to make him very unhappy though, because I'm looking at it and I just think the snow should be brighter. It's too dull for me. I like my snow white. Not in your face white, but somewhat white, and it's just not, it's much more cream colored than it's showing in this. But that's his progress. I don't have the picture of what it is, but it's I think it's New York Dreamer. New York Dreamer. I'm drawing a blank now. And it says wintertime on it. He's doing his on 32 count vintage country mocha, and working on it a little at a time. And he's not really been in a stitchy kind of mood lately. So anyway, that is what we've been stitching on. I did do a little stress kitting up last week. So I kitted up 3 things, but I only brought 2 over. Okay, so the first one I kitted up, and I did this solely based on I saw someone else's online that they had finished, and it was really pretty. The picture, I think, is horrible. It's All Joys for Thine from Blackbird. And I know I'm kind of late to the game. This is not a new chart. But again, I didn't care for the picture. I just didn't find anything attractive about it. But then I saw someone's finish, and then I liked it. So I am doing mine. What am I going to do mine on? I flip this over. This is 40 count chocolate milk from Hand Dyed by Stephanie, using the called for colors, unless I had to sub something because I didn't have it. So there are the colors and the fabric. I'm not a real yellowy fabric person, and I think that called for Heartland, which to me is kind of yellow, so I went with something a little less yellow. So I kitted that one up, and the next one I kitted up was another Blackbird design. Again, I'm kind of late to the game. This one isn't brand new either. And I like this one, but when it first came out, the threads were, I was letting the customers have the threads because that's more important. So I happened to have them all. It was the end of the year. I needed to do something to make me feel good. And so I decided to kit this up. So this is Come Into My Garden. This one, it calls to be stitched on Velt. 36 count Velt, which is a very green fabric. At least the dye lot that I have is very green. And I like green, but it was just a little too bright a green for me. So I went with, and I can't remember if, I think this is a fiber on a whim fabric called Dunes. It's a 46 count. I don't know what I'm thinking there, but I'm going to show it to you with the thread colors first, and then I will, let me take this card off, and then I will show you the fabric by itself. It's still green, but it's not as bright a green, and I think everything's going to be fine when I stitch it. I think the colors will all be fine. But those are all the colors on the fabric. And I think it'll be pretty. It's just not going to be as green as it would have been if I'd done Velt. So that's it's got some nice modeling to it. Pretty, huh? Isn't it? I'm a little bit excited. I got an invoice from, was it Seraphim Fabrics? Got an invoice on yesterday. An invoice popped up on in my email, so I'm a little excited for that. Not that it means a whole lot. I've not ever bought from them before, so maybe it does mean a whole lot. I know when I get an invoice from Stephanie, that means that my fabric might come in the next 6 months. This is my first order from Seraphim, so we'll see. I'll pay the invoice on Tuesday when I get to the shop and see how long it takes from there. I'm still waiting on Picture This Plus. I'm still waiting on Coloring Cotton. Who else am I waiting on? I think I have one other. I sent an inquiry to Fox and Rabbit, but never received a response as far as pricing goes. So I'll probably have to email them again. It's the holidays. I'm giving everyone a little bit of slack because it's the holidays. But I'll email them again once I get back into the groove next week. And I can't remember if I have an order in with Under the Sea. I think I have an order in with Under the Sea too. I could be wrong. It could be I need to place an order with Under the Sea because I'm almost out of Properly Primitive, and that's one of my favorite fabrics. So that is it for stitching. I did kit up 3, but like I said, I left the other one over there. I'm not gonna go get it. It was that Christmas embroidery piece from Nikki's Creations that I showed in might have been my last Chart of the Day video. Maybe. I just took the plunge and I kitted it up. But I kitted it with 2 different fabrics because I can't make up my mind which way I want to go. So crafting, what have I done that was crafty? Well, a long time ago in a land far, far away called Pinterest, I saw these little boxes made out of yardsticks, and I thought, oh, that's a cute idea. I want to copy it. So I bought a bunch of yardsticks, and then that's as far as it went. Because Dan, of course, would need to cut them and put them together for me, and he just hadn't done it, and I hadn't bothered him about it because I bothered him about other things. but I know he's kind of tired of sanding on those spools that he's making. He's got 3 that are fully done, and the other 6, I think, are in varying stages of being done. But again, we're cutting him some slack right now too. But anyway, while I was out of the house yesterday at work, I told him, I said, an easy thing to do, wouldn't require any sanding, would be to cut the yardsticks for the boxes that I wanted him to make. And so he did that. When I came home, I had 2. And so this morning I kind of decorated them up. I had to scrounge around and see what I had here in the house because I didn't want to go anywhere. So I had to. There are probably some things that I would maybe swap out if I could go out and find exactly what I was looking for. But I can't right now, so we're going to make do. And these are not going to show up very well on... I should have left one undecorated so you could see it better. But I was having fun decorating it, so I didn't. So I'm going to hold them up as best I can and show you what I did. So Dan made the box, and you can see it's made out of... And then I made... Oh, maybe I can do this. Show you the elements. I have a darning thing that I've had downstairs. An old vintage. This from a store called Hested's. I don't know if Hested's was a national chain. We used to have one in Ralston way back when I was a wee little girl. And it was a cool store. It was like a dime store. So you could get a little bit of everything there. And I was looking at the price tag on here, and it says Hested's right there. I was like, oh, cool. Because I think I picked this up at a garage sale. Anyway, I've got that in here. Put together, made a little scissor holder from a candlestick and a wood disc. I knew I wanted to use this bronze pair of scissors. Aren't those pretty? So I knew I wanted to use the bronze scissors, and the hole in the spool, a regular wood spool, wasn't quite big enough for it to go farther in. So he had to drill deeper into this candle. This is a candle holder. He had to drill deeper down in so that the scissors would go all the way in. And then we glued a top piece on, which was just a flat round disc. And then he put a big enough hole in there so that my scissors would fit in there the way I wanted them to. Because he is Dan the man, the myth, the dragon. Then let's see, I went downstairs. I have a whole bunch of these little Jello molds, and I had some of these just laying around that I had made several years back for retreat. I had done these pin cushions, and these were my prototypes before I made the actual ones. So this was just laying downstairs, so I grabbed it, and I had these pins. These are from Hobby Lobby. I had those downstairs, so I grabbed those. So that's what that looks like. I have these little tiny, I love these spools. Pick them up whenever I can. They're just little teeny tiny wooden spools. Got a couple of those in there, and then I got some buttons in there, and then I have this needle minder that matches kind of the scissors. So I just have that stuck kind of to the front of the box. Magnets are strong. So that's the components in this one. I would probably prefer something in a different color than this red, but this is what I had, so this is what I'm using. All right, now, am I going to be able to kind of hold it up so you can kind of see, sort of, kind of, what it looks like? Sort of. Anyway, I did put a little, I glued this pin cushion into the Jello mold, and I put a little walnut crystals in the bottom just to give it a little more weight so it wouldn't be so tippy, because it's got that, just that small surface area, and it was a little tippy. This just gives it a little more stability. So I made that one, and then I had another one of those pin cushions in a, oh, I don't know what it was made out of, flannel, I think. And so I did a little coffee tea dyeing and dirtied and grunged it up a little bit. So that's the second one. For this one, I used a different style. Just used a little spool, and I added the little tape measure ribbon to it. A pair of primitive looking scissors. Had this card over in the drawer. At one time I'd written down on the back, this was a project from Lizzie Kate that I'd done, and what all I'd used, because I think I made floss substitutions and stuff. And I like to keep those just in case anyone ever asks me what I did, and because I'm certainly not going to remember. So I have that. I stuck that in here. I have a couple of old vintagey needle things. And I pulled those out of a drawer down in the basement. I have a piece of lace. Got some more of the little vintage spools and some buttons in the bottom. So this is what this one looks like. Anyway, I think they're cute. I don't know what I don't know. I've got more. I may sell just the plain box in the shop and people can do their own spin, or I may sell it with, maybe, since I have a whole bunch of these tins, I might make some of the pin cushions and at least sell it with the pin cushion. I don't know. What should I do with them? Let me know. What should I do? What should Julie do? So that, I've got some fabric cooking in the oven, which I should probably check on here real quick before it burns, starts a fire, ruins my oven. It was 40 count antique white I accidentally ordered, not the Zweigart base. And it was stiff as a board and nobody wanted to stitch on it. So I brought it home and I decided to coffee and tea dye it, and maybe it'll soften up. And I've not ever coffee dyed something. I usually use walnut crystals, but I can't find my walnut crystals. So using coffee, and we'll see how it turns out. And I'll probably, I don't know, probably just keep it and use it here at the house for emergency stitching. But no one wanted to stitch on the stiff stuff, so other than that, that's about all I know. I had a note. Where did my note go? Was there anything else? I don't know where my note went. It was laying here. My brain is gone. Gone. Did I cover everything? Oh, questions. I also want to thank people for their lovely comments on our village. Like I said, that was the village from 2011. And what we did this year is not even, it's just a very small portion of it. But we enjoyed it. We're still enjoying it. It still comes on every night, and I still go out and I look at it and enjoy the peacefulness of the village. I would like to crawl in there and live in it for a while, I think. So thank you for your lovely comments on that. Most of you did really appreciate the effort that went into doing a village. I had one person ask me about my brandy bread recipe. I will post that on my blog, and I will put the address for the blog down in the notes section of this video. I think that was the only questions I had. So I guess I will let you go. I don't want to bore you by just nattering on. So I want you all to have a happy new year. Get some stitching done. If you want to join in on the 25/7 challenge, let me know. There's a video that I did specifically on that. So go watch the video to find out what you need to do. And if it's something that interests you, send me the email to the email address that I put with that video, because it's not my regular email address. And we will see you maybe for a chart of the day video sometime next week. I already have one pulled out, and I just got to choose some fabric. So we'll talk to you later. You take care until next time. Bye.